evening. It's 7 o'clock. I'd like to call this meeting to order. If you would please stand with us for the Pledge of Allegiance, and please remain standing for a moment of silence. Thank you. You may be seated. Well, good evening. As I stated, has been nice weather this week. We really can't complain about that. My name is Jackie Deckard. I'm the president of the school board. To my left is Matt Hankins, vice president. On his left, Heather Stagg, secretary. Dan Conway, board member. And on his left, Luke Jackson, board member. To my right is Superintendent Eric Bolin, and to his right is the assistant to the superintendent, Mrs. Susie Lips. I can't speak this evening. On behalf of the board, we'd like to thank you for attending this evening, whether you're here in person or virtually. We appreciate you attending. Courtney, do we have anyone to speak this evening? Okay. And we have a student recognition this evening. So, Ms. Adams, we have Alexander Cush.
We'll put him front and center.
I'll put him up front.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Shannon Adams. I'm an assistant principal at Martinsville High School, and I'm here on behalf of the administrative team to honor Alex Cush. We are proud to announce that Alexander Cush has been named a commended student in the 2024 National Merit Scholarship Program. Upon receipt, we have a letter of commendation that Alex will receive, and we will present that to Alex at the high school when we receive that. Commended students are the top students in the nation and receive this acknowledgement as a result of their 2022 SAT PSAT qualifying exam. Nationally commended students demonstrate outstanding potential for academic success and represent a valuable national resource. The National Merit Scholarship Committee recognizes the key roles that schools play in students' academic development. The school's role is vital to the advancement and educational excellence in our nation. The committee hopes that this recognition helps Alex and students like him broaden their educational opportunities as they continue their pursuit of academics. Congratulations, Alex.
Now, Alex, before you get too far, do you want to say anything? You don't have to. I just want to give you the opportunity if you want to. All right. Thank you.
I would like to say, personally, having seen him grow up, he is an outstanding example of a top-notch student athlete. And he puts student first, but he's also an outstanding athlete. So, Alex, thank you for the example you set every day at the high school for others to aspire to. So, congratulations to you.
Thank you. We reached our consent agenda, which includes payroll claims, budgetary claims, personnel report, and our check claims. I'd like to ask for a motion to approve the consent agenda.
I make a motion, we approve the consent agenda.
I'll second.
I have a motion and a second. All those in favor of approving the consent agenda signify by stating aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
Okay, in the consent agenda approval, we have our new transportation director that'll be taking over in January. Mr. Mills, welcome back is what we'll say to you. So Dennis Mills will be our new transportation director. I said secretary, didn't I? I was going to move him up to the national level. We could use you there too, Mr. Mills. But congratulations to you. Welcome back. I will allow one of your classmates to make any comments that he might wish to make, but he has to know there could be rebuttal time for you. I don't know.
I'm glad to have Dennis back. He and I were class of '79 graduates, and Dennis was our senior class president, so glad to be serving on the board along with Dennis as our transportation director.
Thank you. So welcome back, Dennis. You want to say a few words?
Eric, can I say one more thing? Just for everybody, he
Your
is
time
an
is up.
IU grad, so just to bring that out, and football, IU football player.
Way back in the day, Mr. Hankins, way back in the day. But no, I'm very grateful and appreciative of the opportunity to come back. I enjoyed the first day here. I look forward to doing the second day here. Briefly interrupted by my stay in Brown County, which had a very supportive board. Superintendent is top notch. So, I come from a good place, left a good place, went to a good place, come back to a good place. Look forward to working with the outstanding staff that's here, leadership team that we have, and the board, all the drivers of things. So thank you very much.
All right, Mr. Superintendent.
Okay, we have on professional travel, Project Lead the Way Launch Conference. Aaron Wolf will be attending that. I recommend approval.
I'll make a motion that we approve for Project Lead the Way launch conference for Aaron Wolf.
I'll second. All right, I have a motion and a second. All those in favor of approving the professional travel signify by stating aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
Okay.
All right. Mrs. Susie Lips has her curriculum instruction and assessment report update for us.
Thank you, Mrs. Deckard. Shout out to all parents in the district for taking time out of their busy schedules to meet with teachers during parent-teacher conferences this year. This is a true testament to parents' commitment to their child's education, as well as their support for what we do here in the MSD of Martinsville. Shout out to all of the district's support staff, custodians, aides, maintenance, clinic staff, office workers, and bus drivers. Everyone works seamlessly together in order to make sure all students are learning and know there are adults out here who care about them. They, all support staff, are an integral part of what the MSD of Martinsville does every day of the school year. Shout out to all schools. Every school is using professional learning community time for teachers to unpack standards, define success criteria, and to analyze student work. This work helps teachers to better identify lagging prerequisite skills and to make intentional instructional decisions. Shout out to all of the elementary schools, Brooklyn, Centerton, Green Township, Paragon, Poston Road, Smith, and South, and Bell Intermediate Academy, and Martinsville High School, Spell Bowl coaches, students, and parents for their hard work and preparation for the Spell Bowl competition. Thank you for representing the MSD of Martinsville with Spell Bowl. Curriculum. The MSD of Martinsville was one of 72 school corporations recently awarded the Indiana Department of Education's Competitive Science of Reading Grant with the full submitted funding amount of $150,000 approved. It was written in collaboration by our district reading specialist and Title I coordinator Lisa Soniga, Director of Literacy Jenny Oakley, and Director of Grants Tiffany Grant. Funding will support South and Paragon Elementary Schools. Both South and Paragon will receive literacy coaches and specialized training. The teachers will get the opportunity to pilot 2 of the curriculums that the legislation and the IDOE will allow on the short list for the adoption in the 2025-2026 school year. Additionally, the special education departments in both South and Paragon Elementary Schools will have their own science of reading-based intervention program. The IDOE has indicated that a similar grant will be available again at the start of next school year. So we're excited to get started investing in our students now. More curriculum info. The MSD of Martinsville recently installed vape detectors in restrooms at Martinsville High School and John R. Wooden Middle School. The Indiana State Police have ensured that these new vape detectors have been installed properly and do not have cameras. The rumors say otherwise. Also, in this effort to eliminate substance abuse by students, the MSD of Martinsville has partnered with the Morgan County Prosecutor's Office and the Morgan County Probation Department to create a substance intervention education program for Martinsville High School and John R. Wooden Middle School students. This program will begin January 2024 for high school students and middle school students who vape or use any illegal substance while at school. Communication. We believe open communication lines are the answer for solving problems and for building a stronger team for our school district. As the slide indicates, to receive text messages from the MSD of Martinsville, text Y or yes to 67587. We are always happy to talk about programming, schools, or your child's educational plan. You are welcome to email, call, or stop by the central office at any time. Thank you, everyone, for attending this evening.
Thank you, Mrs. Lips. Next on our agenda are first read policies, so we do not vote on those. Those go all the way down to number 21 on page 2, which leads us to old business, and I'm not sure we have any.
We
but-
do not have any old business updates at this time.
Okay. And we will move into our policies. As some of you may know, if you've attended in the previous meetings, we are redoing some of our policies with Neola, which we had gotten away from a few years ago. So we have a lot of policies each month to try to go through and get updated to where they need to be with Indiana code and such. So we have a lot here that this is our second reading, which means we are going to either approve or deny. So any comment on any of those, or
Does
do you
does
have
any
any?
of the board members have a comment, or do you wish to pull any out or do anything with any like we did last time?
I would like to pull 3 and vote on it individually. The other ones, leave them as a group, is fine.
So policy, Dan 3120,
Yeah.
is that
one
okay?
says professional.
All right, so I would ask for a motion then for policies 1, 2, and then 4, all the way down to 19. That is what we're voting on at this time. I would ask for a motion to approve those policies.
I'll make a motion to approve 1, 2, and 4 through 19.
Okay, do I have a second?
I'll second.
All right, thank you. I have a motion and a second to approve policies 1 and 2 and 4, all the way down to policy 19. I would ask everyone, all those in favor signify by stating aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Okay, and now we're going to vote on policy 3120. Need a motion and a second or discussion, whatever pleases the board. Any discussion on that before, okay?
No, I think the biggest thing, just looking at the anti-nepotism, and I know that's a kind of topic of discussion we can agree or disagree on, it's just the direct or indirect reporting at the same schoolhouse, not the
Okay.
district, it's at the same building.
Okay. All right, I ask for a motion to approve policy 3120.
I move to approve policy 3120.
I second that.
I have a motion and a second. All those in favor of approving policy 3120 signify by stating aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign.
Aye.
All right. 4 to 1, motion carries. That leads us down, Mr. Boland, to number 20.
Okay, item number 20, we have the K through 12 robotics competition grant in the amount of $46,109.68 for team supplies, materials, and stipend for coaches in our robotics program. Trying to really improve that, so we're excited about it. I recommend approval.
I move to approve the robotics competition grant.
I'll second.
I have a motion and a second. All those in favor of approving the K K through 12 robotics competition grant signify by stating aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
If it's still okay, like past practice with the next four, which are donations, we'll vote on them in a block, but I would like to go ahead and make sure we announce who they are and what the amount is for public, for them to hear. We have a very generous community supporting our students. Donation from Neal and Summers to the Marching Artesians in the amount of $500. Donation from Morgan County Fall Foliage to Martinsville High School Academic ECA account for $700. Donation from Morgan County Fall Foliage Festival to the Marching Artesians in the amount of $1,500. And a donation from L. Dwayne and Helen Tackett O'Neill Foundation to MSD fourth grade in the amount of $2,304. I recommend approval and a big thank you for these generous donations.
Absolutely. I'd like to ask for a motion to approve the donations that's been placed before us.
Make a motion to approve all the donations.
I'll second.
I have a motion and a second. All those in favor of approving the donations placed before us signify by stating aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. I believe
Public comments.
that's it, other than, did anyone sign up for the public? All right, who we have? Daniel Pond, and I know Daniel's been here before, but I'll just state it one more time. Each speaker has 3 minutes to share their view, their comments, their concerns. If you would just state your name, please.
Yes, hello, my name is Daniel Pond. I am an educator. A stormy sea forced the Pilgrims to land far north of their original destination. The Mayflower Compact was established that November in 1620, 403 years ago. It was an agreement between the settlers at New Plymouth, Massachusetts, quote, for better ordering and preservation and furtherance of the ends aforesaid. The ends aforesaid was the, quote, advancement of the Christian faith. This agreement is considered a forward, Foreword, as in the beginning of a book, as in the beginning of America. Our founding fathers and mothers of American education formed agreements for generations to come. They have their own forward. Benjamin Rush, 1786, said, let our common people give their children a group education. Let schoolmasters of every description be supported in part by the public, and let their principles and morals be subjected to examination. This plan of general education alone will render the American Revolution a blessing to mankind. Freedom can only exist in a society of knowledge. Without learning, men are incapable of knowing their rights, and where learning is confined to a few people, liberty can neither be equal nor universal. Noah Webster, 1787, wrote, it is an object of vast magnitude that systems of education should be adopted and pursued, which may not only diffuse a knowledge of the sciences, but may implant in the minds of the American youth the principles of virtue, liberty, and inspire them with just and liberal, as in generous and open-handed, ideas of government, and with an inviolable attachment to their own country. In Hosea chapter 4, God says, my people perish from the lack of knowledge about his word. In Matthew 18, Jesus says, your Father in heaven is not willing that any of these little ones should perish. If you meet together with me and I meet with you, we'll get it done. Our founding fathers and mothers of America came into this type of agreement with God through Jesus Christ for the sake of the gospel and how it would affect future generations in their global impact. I come into agreement with them. I choose to bring their forwards. I choose to give honor where honor is due. I will not let their blood dry on my hands. Thank you.
Thank you. Courtney, do we have anyone else?
I'm Heather McFarland, and I'm with the Pagan Homecoming Festival. I am also the chairperson of the parade, and That being said, this is the 100th year of our festival, and we're trying to make it bigger and better. And I'm hoping that we can get the Artesians to be part of it. The parade is on Sunday, September the 1st, 6 p.m. Hoping that we can get that accomplished. Thank you for letting us.
What was that date again?
September 1st.
Thank you. Anybody else?
Okay, the first one I want to talk about, Neil Mitchell, is the AI coming down the track for high schools, students, and parents. It's in the future, so I'm kind of questioning how we're going to be prepared for that in the future. Just throwing it out there now because we are all aware of what's coming. So I just ask about that. Late Wednesdays, does that help out the really math and science in the younger grades? We're having a lot of people now that don't like early mornings delays because it goes out Hoosier Hills. Transportation has to go out and pick up kids clear out in the country for Hoosier Hills so they go to school that morning. That means an extra bus, one driver, spending gasoline to go pick up that one student. Where if it was a late Wednesday for you guys to work late Wednesdays rather than late mornings, it would help out a whole lot of the transportation department. Kids miss a lot of the buses. If you listen to our radios on Wednesday mornings, parents are out of whack, kids are out of whack. We got to go back and pick up kids, which is a waste of gas from the transportation department, and it kind of works on bus drivers' nerves after a while. So there's another thing for you to think about. Uh, that's about all I got to say right now. But I think that you need to think about next year, being as we know this year that the majority of people didn't want to have late morning Wednesdays. So I think next year you need to obey the rules of the public and not worry about the school teachers, but take care of the public because they're the ones that have to come to school and are disarrayed because school teachers, when you have a 2-hour delay every morning, you do not upset their world. But the people that come to the school system, you upset their worlds because they're out of sync. And we have more trouble. I've almost been hit 3 times now on observatory because people don't take a school bus or be on a curvy road at 8:30 in the morning. It should be at school where the kids are out of the week. So I've about got hit on a couple of curves on observatory, and some other bus drivers have been telling me the same thing because people don't take a bus driver or a school bus or be on the road at 8:30 in the morning. So you guys might consider that next year because one of these days one of the buses is going to get hit. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mitchell. All right.
Okay. Very important invitation here for the public out there in virtual land and also here in the audience. Beauty and the Beast production is going to take place starting tomorrow night, and it'll be Friday and Saturday and Monday at 7 p.m. at Martinsville High School Auditorium. Friday, Saturday, Monday, 7 p.m. Sunday will be a matinee at 3 p.m. I was blessed to see the dress rehearsal today, and I can tell you from the stage set, the costumes, the cast, the pit orchestra, the lighting, sound, everything. It was a fantastic performance, and this was just dress rehearsal. So really looking for. I've done this for 30 years, and I've gone to a lot of them in this 30 years. This one's one of the top. The kids have done a great job. The cast, crew, everybody's prepared. They're excited about it. You need to get out and watch and support these kids. You're going to be blessed to go because it's an outstanding, outstanding performance and production they'll be putting on. I know Mr. Jackson is there today. I think he can attest to that. I won't speak for him. I'll let him speak, but get a chance to go support the kids because it's fantastic. For the parents that are out there that have been taking their kids to these practices and for hour upon hour over the last several weeks, we have elementary kids there. We have intermediate students that are on the stage. We have middle school students on the stage with the high school students. This is a wide-ranging production. I think the count was well over 75 students involved that's amazing, right? But as a parent who had a daughter perform on stage, if there's, man, you talk about being nervous for them. I've felt it, and to watch what they do and how they do it is something I could never have done whenever I was on in high school. So get a chance to go support them. It means a lot to the kids. And so parents, enjoy it. It will be over, even though you're going to have butterflies for the night of the performance. It'll be over quickly, and you'll look back on it in several years and remember it very fondly. Thanksgiving break, a reminder, next week. That will be the 22nd through the 24th. So that's Wednesday through Friday. So don't send your kids to school those days, even though you might want to. They might be thankful for that. So everybody, we wish you a happy Thanksgiving, the blessings of the Thanksgiving season, time with your family, friends, and loved ones. We hope that you have. Kickoff for winter sports, that's taken off already. We are getting into full swing, so go support the athletes, student athletes like we had Alex here today. Go support them in what they do. That means a lot to them. Veterans programs that we hosted last week, I'm telling you, we got to see several, and the schools did a phenomenal job honoring our veterans. Heard from a lot of veterans who were so pleased to have been invited and to participate and to be honored by our youth and our schools. It was a great thing to witness, a great thing to watch. So I wanted to give a big shout out to all the schools and the participants in the Veterans Day programs. That's all I have.
Right. Board members?
I'll say yes. The Beauty and the Beast was excellent. I would encourage you to get your tickets if you haven't, because I believe Saturday is almost completely sold out in the reserve section, and they've sold almost 1,500 tickets, I believe, pre-sale. So I have one of my oldest is in it. It's kind of neat because I was on that stage not that long ago. But he's been able to make friends and make connections with older kids too. Some of the high schoolers that are in there, and some of the high school teachers, Mr. Smarza being one of them. He's able to make those connections, which is neat because you see that in our school district where there's a lot of mentoring, a lot of friendships that are made throughout all of these different activities. It's a great group of kids, a great production. It's a proud moment for our community. So yeah, definitely if you're able to go out and support it, it's an excellent thing. And the Spell Bowl, I was impressed too. They were amazing, much better spellers than I am. But a shout out to Centerton finishing first. All of those who participated, just an excellent, excellent job.
Thank you.
Yeah, I get a couple things. As we look at the bills we approved today, I don't know how many people pay attention to these front and back pages we get each and every month. Just see how much money we're investing back into the school on the security side, the camera investment, and obviously the football fields and everything else we're doing is trying to make the culture right. I think that's good. Good to see. I know we take that seriously. There's a big chunk of money here that we're investing back in the school. So when we talk about the sensors at the school, the security at the school, making sure our kids are safe, that was a priority for I know myself and the entire board is to get to a better spot. So it's good to see that. Even though we hear a little bit of negative, I think that's part of it. If everybody's happy, something's wrong. Someone's not going to be happy with something we do. I get that. That's when we look at the culture, what we're trying to create and do the right thing. I think it's important. Even when you look at just the positive messages, one thing I talked to Eric about recently is just making sure we have a positive message of curriculum. I don't need dolls with black eyes, as hall passes and different things that's going on out there. We need to remove some of the negative things in the school and make it as much of a positive learning atmosphere as humanly possible. And I think, especially in today's culture, it's got to be the top priority as we move forward. Everything we choose to teach our kids, so when they go into the real world, we protect them for a while and get them ready. But I don't want them to come home with that negative thinking. I want to make sure it's a positive atmosphere. And I know that's something that we've talked a lot about. So I like to see the things moving in the right direction and improving. So I just want to make sure we kind of promote that because a lot of people probably don't even look at the notes or the packets we get. And every month we do take this seriously. So I appreciate that. Thank you.
Just want to wish everybody a happy Thanksgiving. Be safe, enjoy some friends and family, and see you all next month.
I want to say a couple of things. I was very impressed about a weekend. I think it was November 3rd. It was a Mary Hartley was a teacher at Perrigan Elementary for 16 years, and I had the pleasure of taking care of Mary for the last 4 years as she was declining health wise. But to tell you the impact that lady had as a teacher at Perrigan Elementary, there were two students there, and I am so sorry I knew Kelly Bray, used to be Kelly Dunnigan. The other girl, I think she told me her name was Wingler. They came because Mary had impacted their lives as a teacher. Now, you talk about a healthy environment, great curriculum. The lady, every time we took her to tomato pie, a student would come up, and some of them were kids that I know, you know, she made them mind, but they respected her. And that's what we try to do with all the teaching staff here. We have a lot of great teachers. And then I also want to mention too, Nanette Gaskins passed this last week. Nanette and I worked together at Martinsville High School for many years. Shannon, I'm not sure, was she there when you started? And so she made an impact as the attendance secretary, and the kids thought a lot of her. So not just our teachers, but those support staff people, the bus drivers, all of those people impact those students' everyday lives. And I think it was amazing how Mary, and I know Nanette, impacted student lives every single day, and it goes on forever. Dennis and I had teachers that impacted our lives. We still talk about to this day. So, that's something we're trying to keep that here in this community. Just wanted to emphasize that. A couple other things. I apologize for being long. Madricals, that's another thing that's coming up. I think we don't have a board meeting for it. So Madricals is another event that's coming up to remember, and also the boys and girls basketball teams, wrestling. So I want to say swimming, sorry.
It's okay.
Swimming too. So, and I did mention wrestling, but appreciate all those students. And also, I'll put a plug in if anybody wants to judge. DECA competition will be in January, and Martinsville now is having a DECA chapter along with my school where I teach at. So if you want to judge, come see me and we'll get you set up. But glad to see that Martinsville academically is doing that. So we want to put a plug in for, and they also are doing Business Professionals America. So that's great to see the academic side.
Thank you. A lot of positive things going on in our district for sure. I want to remind everyone that our normal board meeting in December would be December 21st. That would be the third Thursday. But because of the holidays, our next board meeting will be December 14th. So I want to put that on your radar. And also, I want to piggyback on to Eric with the holiday coming up next week. I think we can all agree that we all have many blessings and that we're, to be thankful for. And that I hope that all you guys get to enjoy your Thanksgiving holiday and spend that with family because that's most important. And thank you to the veterans. I don't know, I know we have a small audience in here, but do we have any veterans that's here this evening? Stand up, please. Yeah, we'll recognize you guys. Thank you so much. Thank you. We know it's all because of you, the reason why we get to sit here tonight and have these kind of meetings. So we appreciate everything that you guys do everywhere. So thank you very much. If that is it, then I'm going to ask for a motion to adjourn.
Make a motion, we adjourn.
I'll second.
All right, I have a motion and a second. All those in favor of adjourning signify by stating aye.
Aye.
I'm pretty sure no one's opposed, but I'll ask for it anyway. All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Thank you all very much for attending this evening.